The sleek, silver spacecraft descended from the sky, hovering silently above the bustling city. Its occupants peered down with a mixture of curiosity and condescension at the teeming masses of humans below. These visitors from a distant world had come to observe the inhabitants of Earth, a planet they considered hopelessly primitive and fragile. "Look at them," scoffed Exhilarating, the lead scientist aboard the craft. "Scurrying about like insects, their feeble bodies so easily broken. How could such a species ever hope to survive, let alone become a worthy adversary?" His companion, Nara, nodded in agreement. Indeed, their limbs are so delicate, their organs so vulnerable. Even the slightest injury could prove fatal. And yet they continue on oblivious to their own frailty. The two aliens watched as a ground car swerved to avoid a pedestrian, sending the human tumbling to the ground. They winced slightly as the individual's arm bent at an unnatural angle, but their expressions quickly shifted to amusement. "See, there is an example of their weakness," Exhilarating said, chuckling. "That one will likely never use that arm again. How pathetic." Nara tapped a series of commands into the ship's console, activating a high-resolution scanner. "Let us observe more closely," she said, her tone dripping with condescension. "I wish to see the full extent of their fragility." The scan revealed a wealth of information about the human's anatomy and physiology. Exhilarating and Nara studied the data, their lips curling in disdain. "Unbelievable," Exhilarating muttered. "Their bodies are so poorly equipped to handle even the most minor of traumas. And yet they persist, as if their mere willpower could overcome such inherent weakness." Nara nodded, her eyes narrowing. "We must learn more about these humans. Perhaps there is some hidden strength to their species that we have yet to discover. For now, they are little more than curiosities, amusing in their futile struggle for survival." With that, the alien craft rose higher into the sky, its occupants already planning their next move. In the days that followed, the alien visitors observed the humans with growing fascination. They watched as the injured pedestrian was rushed to a medical facility, his arm carefully splinted and immobilized. To their surprise, the human's condition improved rapidly, the bones mending and the skin knitting back together. "Remarkable," Exhilarating murmured, his brow furrowed in concentration. "Their bodies possess an innate ability to repair themselves. I had not anticipated such a capability." Nara nodded, her fingers flying across the ship's controls as she recorded every detail. "Indeed, it would seem that the humans are not as fragile as we had assumed. Their resilience is intriguing." As the days turned into weeks, the aliens continued their observations, witnessing a wide range of human injuries and ailments. They marveled at the body's ability to heal and regenerate, often surpassing the capabilities of the primitive medical technology the humans had developed. "Look," Nara said, pointing to the screen as a human child tumbled from a tree, shattering his leg upon impact. "Surely that injury will prove fatal. The bone is protruding, the limb bent at an unnatural angle." Exhilarating watched intently as the child was rushed to a hospital, his leg immobilized and the exposed bone set. Within a matter of weeks, the human was walking again, his leg fully healed. "Incredible," the alien scientist breathed, his initial disdain giving way to a growing sense of fascination. "Their bodies possess an astonishing capacity for self-repair. I had not anticipated such a remarkable adaptation." Nara nodded, her fingers tapping rapidly on the console as she recorded her observations. "This changes everything. We must delve deeper, understand the full extent of this regenerative ability. Clearly, the humans are far more resilient than we had assumed." As the weeks turned into months, the alien visitors continued their observations, their initial dismissal of the human species slowly transforming into a deep sense of respect and curiosity. They witnessed humans suffering devastating injuries, from severe burns to massive internal trauma, only to watch in amazement as their bodies healed, often with little to no lasting damage. The resilience of these creatures is truly astounding, Xylith said, his voice tinged with wonder. Their cells seem to possess the ability to rapidly divide and rebuild damaged tissue, a remarkable adaptation that we have never encountered before. Nara nodded, her eyes fixed on the displays before her. Indeed, and the speed at which they heal is truly remarkable. Even our most advanced medical technologies pale in comparison to the human body's innate healing capabilities. The two aliens spent countless hours poring over the data they had collected, analyzing the complex biological mechanisms that underpinned the human's remarkable regenerative abilities. They marveled at the intricate dance of enzymes, growth factors, and stem cells that orchestrated the repair and replacement of damaged tissues. To think that these fragile-appearing creatures possess such a profound capacity for self-healing, Exhilarating murmured, shaking his head in disbelief. It challenges everything we thought we knew about the limits of biological resilience. Nara's eyes narrowed as she considered the implications of their findings. This discovery could have far-reaching consequences, both for our own species and for the balance of power in this region of the galaxy. We must proceed with caution and determine how best to leverage this knowledge to our advantage. As the months turned into years, the alien visitors continued their covert observation of the human species, their initial condescension giving way to a growing sense of respect, and even, in some cases, a hint of envy. They had witnessed humans survive injuries that would have proven fatal to their own kind, crushed limbs regenerating, severe burns healing without scarring, even the regrowth of lost organs in some cases. The sheer resilience and adaptability of the human body had left them in awe. These creatures are far more than the fragile beings we had initially dismissed, Exhilarating said, his voice tinged with a newfound admiration. Their capacity for self-repair and regeneration is unparalleled in our experience. Nara nodded, her fingers dancing across the ship's controls as she reviewed the reams of data they had collected. Indeed, and the implications of this discovery are staggering. Imagine the potential applications for our own species, the ability to heal from even the most devastating of injuries. The two aliens fell silent, lost in thought, as they contemplated the ramifications of their findings. For years, they had viewed the humans as little more than curiosities, fragile creatures doomed to a brief and inconsequential existence. But now, their perception had been forever altered. We must proceed with caution, Exhilarating said, his brow furrowed in concentration. The humans may be primitive in many regards, but their resilience makes them a force to be reckoned with. We cannot underestimate them, nor can we risk them discovering the full extent of our observations. Nara nodded, her expression grave. Agreed. The knowledge we have gained could upset the balance of power in this region of the galaxy. We must devise a plan to harness the secrets of human regeneration, while ensuring that the humans themselves remain unaware of our true intentions. With renewed purpose, the alien visitors set to work, their curiosity now tinged with a hint of trepidation. The humans, once dismissed as fragile and insignificant, had proven themselves to be far more formidable than anyone could have imagined. In the years that followed, the alien visitors continued their covert observations, meticulously cataloging every aspect of human regenerative capabilities. They studied the intricate cellular processes that allowed humans to heal from even the most devastating of injuries, and they began to explore ways to replicate and harness this remarkable adaptation. As their understanding of human biology deepened, Xylith and Nara grew increasingly concerned about the potential implications of their findings. They had initially viewed the humans as little more than curiosities, but now they realized that this fragile species possessed a power that could pose a threat to their own world. If we were to share this knowledge with our own people, the ramifications could be catastrophic. Exhilarating said, his voice tense with worry. Imagine the impact on our military, our economy, our very way of life. We cannot risk the humans discovering our true purpose here. Nara nodded grimly, her fingers flying across the ship's console as she reviewed their data. Agreed. We must find a way to leverage this knowledge for our own benefit, while ensuring that the humans remain unaware of our true intentions. Their resilience makes them a formidable potential adversary, one that we cannot afford to underestimate. The two aliens spent countless hours devising a plan, their initial fascination with human regeneration now tinged with a deep sense of unease. They knew that the knowledge they had gained could fundamentally alter the balance of power in this region of the galaxy, and they were determined to ensure that their own species remained firmly in control. As their mission continued, Xylith and Nara became increasingly isolated from their own kind, their obsession with the humans' remarkable abilities overshadowing all other concerns. They knew that they were walking a dangerous line, but the lure of the knowledge they had uncovered was simply too powerful to resist. Years passed, and the alien visitors' covert observations continued unabated. They had amassed a wealth of data on human regenerative capabilities, and they had even begun to experiment with ways to replicate and enhance these abilities within their own species. But as their understanding of human biology deepened, Xylith and Nara found themselves grappling with a growing sense of unease. What had started as a simple scientific inquiry had evolved into a deeply personal and potentially dangerous obsession. We've learned so much, and yet I can't shake the feeling that we're treading on dangerous ground, Xylith said, his brow furrowed in concentration. The power we've uncovered could change the course of our entire civilization, and I'm not sure we're prepared to handle the consequences. Nara nodded, her eyes fixed on the displays before her. I share your concerns. The humans have proven to be far more resilient and adaptable than we ever could have imagined. If we were to share this knowledge with our leaders, it could lead to devastating consequences. The two aliens fell silent, their thoughts consumed by the implications of their findings. They knew that the knowledge they had gained could be used to great effect, both in terms of military and medical applications. But they also knew that such power could be wielded with devastating consequences. We've become too invested in this, haven't we? Exhilarating said, his voice laced with a hint of regret. What started as a simple scientific inquiry has turned into an obsession, one that could jeopardize everything we hold dear. Nara sighed, her shoulders slumping slightly. I'm afraid you're right. We've become so consumed by the humans' remarkable abilities that we've lost sight of the bigger picture. We can't risk sharing this knowledge, not when the stakes are so high. The two aliens fell silent, their gaze fixed on the bustling human city below. They knew that they had to make a decision, one that would have far-reaching consequences for both their own species and the humans they had come to observe. As the years stretched on, Xylith and Nara found themselves increasingly torn between their scientific curiosity and their sense of duty to their own species. The knowledge they had gained about human regenerative abilities was simply too powerful to ignore, and they knew that they could not risk sharing it with their leaders. We've gone too far down this path, Xylith said, his voice heavy with resignation. If we were to reveal what we've learned, the consequences could be catastrophic. The balance of power in this region of the galaxy could be forever altered. Nara nodded, her expression grave. I agree. The two aliens fell silent, their thoughts consumed by the weight of their decision. They knew that they had to find a way to protect the secrets they had uncovered, even if it meant making the ultimate sacrifice. We have to destroy the evidence, Nara said, her voice firm. Every last piece of data, every scrap of information we've gathered. It's the only way to ensure that this knowledge never leaves this ship. Xylith's eyes widened, and for a moment he hesitated. But all the time, all the effort we've put into this, it would be for nothing. Nara reached out and placed a hand on his arm, her gaze unwavering. I know, Xylith. But we have to put the greater good of our species first. We cannot risk the humans discovering our true purpose here, or the consequences could be catastrophic. With a heavy heart, Exhilarating nodded. You're right. We've come too far to turn back now. Let's do what needs to be done. Together, the two aliens set to work, meticulously erasing every trace of their findings. They watched as years of painstaking research disappeared, their hard-won knowledge vanishing into the ether. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but they knew that it was the only way to protect their own world from the potentially devastating implications of what they had learned. As the last of the data was destroyed, Exhilarating and Nara stood in silence, their shoulders slumped with the weight of their decision. They had sacrificed everything for the sake of their species. Their dreams of unlocking the secrets of human regeneration now reduced to ashes. It's done, Nara said, her voice barely above a whisper. We can never speak of this again. Not to anyone. The humans and their remarkable abilities will remain a closely guarded secret. Exhilarating nodded, his expression somber. So be it. We've made our choice, and we must live with the consequences. May the gods forgive us for what we've done. With a heavy heart, the two aliens turned their ship away from the Earth, their minds consumed by the weight of their decision. The humans and their incredible resilience would remain a mystery, their secrets locked away in the vast expanse of the cosmos. As the alien spacecraft rose higher into the sky, Exhilarating and Nara sat in silence, the weight of their decision heavy upon their shoulders. They had sacrificed years of painstaking research, their hard-won knowledge of human regenerative abilities, now reduced to ashes. Exhilarating stared out the viewport, his gaze fixed on the receding form of the blue-green planet below. Do you think we did the right thing? He asked, his voice tinged with uncertainty. Nara sighed, her expression pensive. I believe so. The knowledge we uncovered was simply too powerful to risk falling into the wrong hands. The consequences could have been catastrophic, not just for our own species, but for the entire balance of power in this region of the galaxy. The two aliens fell silent, their thoughts consumed by the gravity of their decision. They knew that they had made the ultimate sacrifice, forfeiting the chance to unlock the secrets of human resilience in order to protect their own world. Still, Exhilarating murmured, a part of me can't help but wonder what might have been. The potential applications of this knowledge, the medical breakthroughs, the military advantages. It's a lot to give up. Nara reached out and placed a comforting hand on his arm. I understand, Exhilarating. Believe me, I share your sense of loss. But we have to remember that our primary responsibility is to our own people. The risk was simply too great to ignore. Exhilarating nodded slowly, his gaze still fixed on the distant horizon. I know. It's hard to let go of something so extraordinary. The humans, their resilience, their capacity for regeneration. It's unlike anything we've ever encountered before. Perhaps one day, Nara said, her voice soft, we'll have the chance to revisit this discovery. But for now, we must be content with the knowledge that we've done what is necessary to protect our own world. The secrets of human regeneration will remain locked away, their true power hidden from the cosmos. Exhilarating exhaled a long, slow breath, his shoulders slumping with the weight of their decision. You're right. We've made our choice, and now we must live with the consequences. Let us return home and ensure that the knowledge we've gained remains safe, forever hidden from prying eyes. As the alien spacecraft streaked across the void of space, Exhilarating and Nara knew that they had made the ultimate sacrifice. The humans and their remarkable resilience would remain a closely guarded secret, their true power forever out of reach. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but they knew that it was the only way to ensure the safety of their own world. In the end, the fragile humans had proven to be far more resilient than anyone could have imagined. And the aliens, once so dismissive of their weak counterparts, had learned a valuable lesson about the power of adaptation and survival. The secrets of human regeneration would remain hidden, but the impact of their discovery would reverberate through the cosmos for years to come.